Welcome to the Addison podcast, where we talk about what it actually takes to hit your first six or multi-six figures in business. I'm Addison, certified clinical hypnotherapist and online business coach for entrepreneurs. And 3 years ago, I decided that nursing wasn't for me, dropped out of nursing school, and dove into the online space. From free hypnosis audios to unfiltered conversations and business advice, this is the space for you to take radical responsibility towards creating your dream business. Let's dive in. Okay, we're going to talk about one tricky subconscious block that you might be experiencing that is so interesting to me, but comes up for a lot of my clients. I actually had a conversation with a client who is in one of my hypnotherapy programs right now about how she experiences this and how it's kind of showed up for her. So before I dive into what the actual subconscious block is, I do want to say that if you are someone who, when you go live, you shake and sweat and you feel this fearful feeling of going live, or you get on a sales call and you're pitching your prices and, talking about your services throughout the sales call, and you feel these physiological symptoms in the body, or fear in the mind before the sales call, or alternatively, you go on your social media to post a post or to sell on your stories, and you kind of think yeah, I'm selling, but I'm kind of only half selling. You just kind of feel this underlying I'm selling, but there's doubt behind it. This could be coming up for you. So this particular client, and I've had so many different clients share this with me as well too, where they go to get on sales calls to talk about their offers or services, or they're talking to a client in the DMs about one of their coaching offers. And instead of feeling this just excitement, oh my gosh, I'm so pumped to serve this client. I am so ready to serve this client. This is incredible. How cool is it that this dream client came in here? I'm just going to, tell her how I can help her. There's this underlying just fear and almost this underlying doubt that comes up. And so you don't want to answer the messages, or on the call, you're feeling those physiological symptoms. This is what I like to call I doubt that I can actually provide what I say I'm going to provide subconscious block. I probably need to think of a better name for that, but that's what comes to mind. So typically this happens when you want to sell, but you don't actually want to sell because you have doubt in your level of expertise, or you underlying underneath the surface, deep down subconsciously have a lot of imposter syndrome. This also is something where it's you want to make more money, you want to sign more clients, but you don't actually want to sign those clients because you have to actually serve them. So the reason that this comes up, and the reason that this happens, and the reason this might be happening to you, if you often find yourself feeling really, scared on sales calls, or having a hard time going live, or having a hard time selling every single day, or creating content, is because you do want to make more money. Consciously, you want to make more money. Consciously, you want to serve more clients, but subconsciously, you have this fear, maybe because of a past, situation with clients, or because of a past situation, in life, or just because of imposter syndrome, or just because you think, who am I to do this? You have this fear that yes, I'm claiming that I can, help you create better messaging to sign more clients, or yes, I'm claiming that I can help be your social media manager. Yes, I'm claiming that I can shift things, for you subconsciously, but, subconsciously you have this doubt that you can actually do those things, even if you've proven to yourself over and over and over again that you can produce those results. So this came up for me in my business, actually. When I first was a hypnotherapist, I had a really hard time selling hypnotherapy services very early on in my career, until I offered a lot of one-on-one free spots for hypnotherapy. And I started to see I can actually produce the results with this offer, because before it was yeah, I've seen the shifts from this, but I'm a newbie hypnotherapist, right? Versus where I am now, where I fully feel like an expert at what I do, and I know this work is life-changing. And so I would talk about these offers, but underlying deep down subconsciously, there was this feeling of but maybe, it'd be better if I didn't sign this client, or maybe it'd be better if no one reached out about this, because that puts a lot of pressure on me to have to create these results for them, or what if I can't actually produce these results, right? That's what's happening subconsciously. And so the reason why this is really important to talk about is because it's the same theory of like, if I show up into a room, I walk into a room and I have this just like exuding confidence, like people are going to flock to me. People are going to want to talk to me. People are going to like look at me, whatever. They're going to be, maybe in awe by my aura, versus if I walk into the office and I'm like, or into the room and my shoulders are hunched and, I like am sitting like this with my body language and I won't make eye contact, right? Like there's a very different energy. And the same thing happens on social media. The same thing happens in the way that we sell and that we convey our message, because 90 or 88 to 95% of communication is subconscious in our body language, in our tone, in the way that we present ourselves, in the way that we speak and talk, and only, that 8 to or 7 to 5% or 7 to 12% of body language or of communication is the actual words that we're saying. So I might work on my messaging, I might work on my marketing, I might have this like incredible service and, have this marketing that's like 10 out of $10 million strategy. But if my underlying tone and the way that I show up and my body language and the way that I show up on that sales call is, I don't actually think like I can, like my messaging says I can produce these results, but like I don't actually think I can do it. Like there's not conviction in your message and your tone and the way that you're speaking about things. People are going to feel that and they're not going to flock to you like they do in that room when you show up with confidence, right? The client that I talked to about this as well too was saying, yeah, that's like so true, because when I, dance, when I go in and I'm just not like really feeling myself that day, like I just don't dance well. But when I go in and I'm like, I'm incredible, I'm so confident, I love what I do, I love that I do this, and I'm a great dancer. The way that I actually dance is incredible, like the way that my body shows up because of that mind-body connection, right? And so I think that this is a really important topic of conversation, because we spend so much time on social media talking about having the perfect messaging, the perfect marketing, the perfect strategy, the perfect sales call script, all of the things, right? The perfect DM script, the perfect like sales process, right? We talk about all of this, and like you could probably find holes in each of our businesses in some of those areas. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the mindset piece of like that full conviction and belief in yourself and that full confidence, it's not going to matter if you have the sales process. It's not going to matter if you show up to that sales call and you have this script of this is exactly what I'm going to say that is going to create this, is going to sign this client. If you're showing up and it's very clear that you're not confident in yourself and you don't connect with that client, again, because that communication is subconscious. And so because these are subconscious beliefs or subconscious fears or subconscious imposter syndrome, and they lie within the subconscious mind, it could come from, something you experienced as a child. It could come from not feeling good enough. It could come from past experiences just in your adult life or in your business. It could come from, just lack of confidence in all areas of your life that has now translated into business. I like to say the way you do one thing is the way you do all things in business. So the way that you, show up in your personal life is how you show up in your business as well too. And so, it doesn't matter where this comes from. It's always living subconscious, because consciously you want to sign the client, you want to make them more money, but those, experiences, those memories, those beliefs you have about yourself live underneath the surface and live subconsciously. So they could be guiding, again, how you're presenting yourself, the energy you're exuding, how you're showing up, the words you're even saying, like, the belief you have in yourself, which then exudes like your confidence and how you're speaking even to the client, the tone of voice that you have, and how you're, even connecting with them, whether or not you're making eye contact, like whether or not you're, really selling yourself on that sales call, right? And so I think that this is such an interesting topic of conversation, because to me, the foundation of creating the multi-six-figure business is not the marketing strategy. It's not the foundations of the business. It's not, the perfect offer suite or the perfect, visibility strategy or the perfect TikTok or the perfect whatever. Because if you don't have belief and conviction in yourself that you can produce what you want to produce, one, you might not produce it because you're going to be so worried about like, am I doing enough, that you're not actually showing up for your client. And two, the way that you convey in that sales process, that you convey your offer, is not going to, convert. And so I gave this particular client that I spoke to, and I give all my clients, the same couple pieces of advice. And one is to do the subconscious work, do the inner work, because in business, when you, I think we'll just equate it to like a millionaire, right? Like if someone wins the lottery, there's this theory that if they win the lottery, either they're going to lose that money instantly because they're not going to know how to hold the money because they've never had that level of money in their lives before, or they're going to lose it pretty fast, right? And that's because they haven't done the inner work to match what's happening in that external reality with that lottery win. Or done the subconscious work. And so the same thing I think can be the case in business. And I think that's why, as we evolve in business, we need to set the foundations in our mindset just as much as we set the foundations in our strategy. So I would recommend to anyone that has experienced this, whether you've experienced this or not, actually, whether, if you're a business owner and you're hitting 6 or multi-six figures and you want to continue to grow without the burnout, without the stress, without the overwhelm, without the problems like this, or without the physiological symptoms that we talked about in the body, we need to be doing subconscious work and we need to prioritize the inner mindset work because your business cannot outgrow your mindset. So I recommended to this particular client to be doing hypnosis on confidence, to be doing hypnosis on sales. We can even do like specific sales calls, hypnosis scripts that you listen to, an hour before your call that help exude that confidence. And, the way that the subconscious mind works is essentially like it doesn't differentiate thoughts from reality. So when we, implant in your subconscious mind, that's such a weird way to say that, but we change your beliefs to be confident, to release imposter syndrome, to, be someone that fully shows up and exudes that confidence, you're going to see your sales increase as well too. And so, with the confidence piece, with the sales piece, specific sales scripts around sales calls, around DM conversations, around whatever you're experiencing. And then even more so, just consistently, increasing your confidence by doing little things like, figuring out what you're protecting yourself from by not wanting to sign that client. I even told this client to do a little thing where she puts like all of her client wins or testimonials or like big, moments she's had in business in a folder or, in an album on her phone. And before a sales call, she looks through them just to kind of remind herself, like, I'm incredible at what I do, to give her mind that proof that like I can do this. But the best way to move through this is through subconscious reprogramming. So again, if you are someone that already knows how to market, the strategy, all the pieces, and you feel like your business is just not growing as quickly as you would like it to, you're putting in a lot of work but not seeing a lot of the effort, even though you do know how to create sales, it's time to do subconscious reprogramming. So I recommend that you start with my hypnosis bundle called the Dynamic CEO on confidence, imposter syndrome, all of the like basic things that people experience in business, that entrepreneurs experience. Start there and then DM me and tell me what you experienced. But I hope that this was helpful because I want you to really hit home here that consciously we can want something, but if our subconscious mind is afraid of that thing or doesn't feel safe in that thing, our subconscious mind is ultimately going to win. So even if you consciously want the more money, you want the, better clients, you want the high level clients, and subconsciously you feel not safe in attracting more money, you feel, not safe in attracting the higher level clients, you feel like you can't produce the results for them that you say you will, that subconscious part of you will win. And this is where hypnotherapy and subconscious work is absolutely a game changer.